Hey guys, come on in, take a seat. Got a lot to do today. All right, I need everybody to put their iPads and phones away. Get ready for class. All right, looks like everybody's ready. So today I'll read our objective. It's students will be able to analyze the article, Making a Better Life in Achieve 3000 by comparing the economical reasons people moved to Detroit to the economical reasons people moved during the Industrial Revolution by writing a 2 to 3 sentence paragraph in the conclusion segment of the graphic organizer. This is what you should be able to do at the end of the class, so I hope that we can get there. So obviously today we'll be working in Achieve, so we will need our iPads later, but I ask for right now you keep them put away. So the article we're going to be talking about talks a lot about people moving for a certain reason. So the question I'm going to ask you is, why do people move? I want you to go with your elbow partner, and I want you to discuss some reasons. Why do people move? Why do people move different houses? And we'll come back in like 2 or 3 minutes and discuss. All right, let's get back together. So what kind of reasons did you guys come up with? Yeah, money. They can't afford the place that they're living in. That's a good one. What else? Education. Yeah, people move to go to different schools. What else? Family jobs. Yeah, that's great. Perfect. All right, I think that's a really great list of things that we have here. So the article you're going to be reading today is called Making a Better Life. It's about Latinos moving to Detroit for better jobs and to open up local businesses. So I need you right now to log in to Achieve. If you don't know your password, let me know and I'll give it to you. And then you need to read your article, Making a Better Life, take the quiz, and then report the scores back to me. Once it's done, we'll come back to as a group when everybody's done, and we will go on to the next thing. All right, it looks like everybody's finished here. So let's get our stuff back together. Everybody move their desks. Perfect. Okay, so right now I'm handing out a vocabulary sheet. This vocabulary sheet is some of the words that may have been in your article, but probably not. We're going to read the same article you guys read at the class, but we're going to do the stretch article, so it's a higher lexile level. It's a more of a college level article. So we'll read it as a class, we'll go through it, and then we'll do that short paragraph in the end. But first I want to go over some of the vocabulary words within the article so that we understand what the article is talking about. So the first word in our word list is indigenous. Does anybody know what indigenous means? No? Okay, well, you have your iPads in front of you. Why don't you look up what indigenous means? Yeah, originating or occurring in a particular place. That's a great definition, but if you're anything like me, definitions are so hard for me to understand unless they're in my own words. Some things that I do when I'm trying to get a definition and try to understand it is look up other words that mean the same thing. So some other words that mean indigenous are original or natural, and you guys should all know what those words mean, so why don't you write those down just so you have a better understanding of indigenous. How about intrepid? Does anybody know what the word intrepid means? Yeah, fearless or adventurous. That's a pretty straightforward definition. Some other words could be courageous or fearless or things like that. Our next word is plummet. Yeah, to fall or drop straight down at high speeds. So plummet just means to go straight downhill, or a decline, decreasing, a drop. So things along those lines. Our next word is privation. Privation is a state in which things that are essential for human well-being, such as food and warmth, and scarce or lacking of. So when you hear the word privation, does any of those words that we learned for the Industrial Revolution come to mind? Starts with a P as well. Yeah, poverty. Poverty is another great term for privation. So why don't you write that under privation? The next word's pulsate. Pulsate means to expand and contract with strong, regular movements. If you ever hit yourself and it like hurts, throbs a little bit, that would be another word for pulsate. Vibrate, move in some sort of way is a really good definition for pulsate. So that's that. Our next word is veritable. Veritable means it being in fact the thing named and not false, unreal, or imaginary. So a really good term for this would be just real. It's something that's there. It's real. It's actual. It's a veritable. So that is the term, the definition for veritable. Now in the next column you have use it in a sentence. So now that you have all the definitions, I want you to individually and independently come up with a sentence for each of those new vocabulary words that you learned. Alright, so now I'm passing out a graphic organizer. In the middle of the graphic organizer it states, if you want to find a better life, the best thing to do is leave your home country. So as we go through the article, as I read it, you're going to have positive evidence on your right and negative evidence on your left. And the evidence means the positive reasons for moving to Detroit in this case, and the negative reasons for moving to Detroit in this case. You're going to see one more than the other in this article, so I'm passing that out right now. Alright, we're going to start the article now. Detroit, Michigan, Bagley Street in Detroit, Michigan, is pulsating with Mexican restaurants and import shops, indicating that Southwest Detroit is doing something it hasn't done in years, growing and prospering. The neighborhood is one of many that are suited far from the Mexican border but have benefited from an influx of Latino immigrants. The new wave of Latino immigrants is following Latinos who established communities in northern cities in the 1950s after securing jobs in the auto and other manufacturing industries. Many of those cities existed in a state of privation after factories closed and those manufacturing jobs dried up. In Southwest Detroit, businesses closed, many buildings were boarded up, and crime escalated. Southwest Detroit wasn't a neighborhood where you could walk down the street, said Southwest Detroit Business Association Deputy Director Edith J. Costello. I'm going to stop there. On your graphic organizer, we're going to put the negative again on the left and the positive on the right. Did anybody see any negative or positive things for moving in this little short little section I read? Yeah, there was some negative. I think that we can all come to a conclusion that Southwest Detroit businesses closed, many things were boarded up, and crime escalated is a negative thing. So I wouldn't want to move in a place where that was. So that is where we would write down for one of our negative pieces of evidence. Is there anything else? Yeah, the quote states, it wasn't a neighborhood where you could walk down the street. So that means there was definitely a lot of crime. People were scared. All right, let's go on. Now you can actually walk down the street. You can take your family out for ice cream after church. Costello and other officials credit Latino immigrants for helping to rejuvenate the neighborhood. Without the manufacturing jobs, newly arrived Latinos, as well as some who have lived in city for decades, have found opportunities in their own backyards, taking jobs in local shops, restaurants, and other service-oriented businesses. A number of folks who are coming up to northern cities are finding jobs, said Enrique Figueroa, director of Roberto Hernandez Center, a Latino advocacy group of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So do we see any positive or negative? Yeah, there was a lot of positive in that one. I didn't really see any negative either. Where did we see some positive? Sure, at the end of that big paragraph there. Found opportunities in their own backyards, taking jobs in local shops, restaurants, and other service-oriented businesses. Now, if I were a Latino and that was available there, I would want to move there too. So that is definitely a positive. Is there anything else anybody sees? Yeah, in the quote, Enrique Figueroa says they're finding jobs, which is definitely a positive to write down. We're going to go on now. So Figueroa and others say that jobs are there because of a few intrepid individuals and groups. City officials and businesses have invested over $200 million in Southwest Detroit in the past 15 years, using the money to open Latino-themed shops and restaurants, which have attracted mostly Latino customers. The success has spurred new businesses and the building of new homes. And now there are more residents and more jobs, and there is more money being spent and earned. All right, so there was some more in there. What did we find? Yeah, Latino shops and restaurants have opened to attract their local community, those Latino people. So that's perfect. I would want to move there too. They said success has spurred and building new homes and more residents and more jobs. So even people who aren't Latino are going to move there because they enjoy the local shops and things. So that's great because now that these new businesses are open, more people are moving there, these businesses are receiving more money, which is always a good thing. There's enough money in the economy that people can sustain real establishments by primarily relying on Latino clientele, Figueroa said. Southwest Detroit is known as Latino neighborhood, but it is really a veritable melting pot of various ethnicities. In addition, while the city's overall population has plummeted in recent decades because of continued poverty and crime, the Southwest Side's population has grown considerably between 1990 and 2000. The population rose by 6.9% to more than 96,000 people during that period. The city's Latino population grew by nearly 19,000 to more than 47,000. In Detroit and other cities, Latinos have carved out a niche for themselves, and they're improving their communities at the same time. We come starving for a better life, said Latino resident. We want to strive, and we found in Southwest Detroit a place to do it. The opportunity was here for us, and we took it. All right, so there's a lot of, I would say, positive things. Can somebody point some out? Yeah, that it had grown so much. It says grown considerably between 1990 to 2000, and it rose by 6.9%. So that's definitely a positive you should write down. And then, yeah, I would say that last quote is a definite recap of the whole thing. We want to strive, and we found in Southwest Detroit a place to do it. The opportunity was here for us, and we took it. So they definitely took that opportunity of theirs. So now that you've seen a higher lexile level of that article and you've understood it more, I want you to try on the back of your graphic organizer, I want you to come up with 2 to 3 sentences to find a comparison between this article and what we have learned about the Industrial Revolution. Why have people moved from the Latino communities down south all the way to Detroit? And why did people move during the Industrial Revolution? Find some connection there, and I want you to give me 2 to 3 sentences explaining that. And then as you walk out the door, you have about 5-6 minutes left. I want you to hand those in, and then I want you guys to have a great weekend. So I'll see you guys next weekend.